Make Ascension normal now. January 20th, 2016. You are standing at the helm of your own mission now. At least if you feel centered and open, we are standing at the helm. However, if you are frightened or angry, you are not at the helm and are a possible victim at any moment. Of course, this fear was created not by your reality, but because of your fear. And, often the fear that comes to you is the very fear that you have put out into your reality. Now, as you are all moving into the highest frequencies of the fourth dimension, you are beginning to lose your sense of time. That is, you are letting go of your adherence and addiction to the limitations and separations that occurs in a reality that is ruled by third and fourth dimensional time. For many people, all realities mean only the third dimensional realities and maybe some of the fourth dimensional astral plane. There is still time in these fourth dimensional realities. Now, more and more are beginning their consciousness journey through the astral planes. The third dimensional physical and fourth dimensional astral worlds are very different. But they both have some structure of time, except that fourth dimensional time is much faster than third dimensional time. On the fifth dimension, time becomes extinct and there is only now. You may have thought you had problems with your transmutation in the fourth dimension, which is simple in comparison with the great acceleration of energy fields as you move into the fifth dimension. Also, the frequency jump from the fourth dimension into the fifth is challenging because the fifth dimension is so different from the first to fourth dimensional realities. It is so very different because in the fifth dimension there is no time. Since there is no time, there is no separation. Actually, the term no time is more of a 3D term as it carries the concept of zero or nothing. That concept does not exist in the fifth dimension. In fact, in the fifth dimension everything is right here, right now, and being alone does not occur. With no time to create distance between people, situations, concepts, thoughts, and emotions, all that flows is moving in intermingling patterns of reality. You see that your fifth dimensional operating system is quite different from your third and fourth dimensional operating systems. The fifth dimension is a circle of reality, as all reality exists within an ever-flowing, moving, shifting flow. This flow is experienced mutually by all with whom you are sharing your experience. In a third dimensional reality, your consciousness is limited to the mid-range frequencies of reality. Therefore, you do not see the extremely high frequencies of reality, and you don't experience the very low frequencies of reality. Hence, you can be unaware of the higher spiritual dimensions, and it is relatively easy for the dark ones to hide in the lower frequencies below that mid-third dimensional frequency range. This third dimensional mid-range is your third dimensional habitual thinking, which also includes some of your fourth dimensional dreaming and creativity. But back to your experience of knocking at the door of the fifth dimension. What if you learned or remembered that your fifth dimensional life was real? Then you would want to learn about your higher self and about the great courage that your higher resonance of you had to enter into a physical body to assist with creating a new world. In the ancient times many beings tried to create new settlements. Of course they were on the third dimensional planet, but they were in an area so different from where they had originated that they did not know the rules of this new reality. Some of these people survived and prospered in their new world, and some did not. However, survival and prospering are both third-dimensional words. In the fifth dimension there is no death, so everyone survives, and there is no money, so everyone prospers. In spite of this knowing, many people are wondering, can I take this plunge? Can I move into this unknown? What will this unknown teach me? However, none of these are fifth-dimensional questions. They are all third-dimensional questions. In order to ask fifth-dimensional questions, you must think fifth-dimensionally, you must feel unity with all life, and you must perceive that all is one within the now. Once you embrace the fifth dimension in this fashion, you begin to communicate with others who are in the fifth dimension and beyond. We say fifth dimension and beyond because the fifth dimension is a threshold reality. It is a threshold between the third, fourth dimension and all the higher dimensional realities that exist beyond the fifth dimension. This fifth-dimensional threshold is much like an oasis where you can rest, relax, and enjoy the wonderful new reality in which you have found yourself. As you come to the threshold of this fifth-dimensional world, you will feel immense unconditional love. This unconditional love appears to be riding on some invisible wind. At first, you will likely find yourself remembering all of your myriad incarnations and all the realities that you have created for yourself in the lower dimensions. In a final examination of your total history of life in third, fourth dimensional realities, you will learn/remember how to unconditionally love, unconditionally forgive, and unconditionally accept the myriad lives that you have experienced in your third, fourth dimensional adventures. If you decide to return to these worlds, you will know that you only do so to complete a mission for which you volunteered. You know it may take a lot of preparation before you return to that lower frequency. For, as you look down to where you have been, you will realize how much you were wounded, how much you were lost. You also realize that those feelings were normal when you were in that third dimension. Thus, when you perceive them from your higher frequency of self, you are able to acknowledge that, indeed, a 3D healing is necessary. Fortunately, you will also remember the camaraderie, friendship, creativity, families, and children. But wait, you say, am I really ready to leave this wonderful fifth-dimensional frequency of reality? Do I really want to volunteer to take a 3D Earth vessel to assist Gaia's ascension? I worked so hard to get to this frequency. Actually, work is another third-dimensional word. Also, once these doubtful and somewhat fearful thoughts come into your mind, your consciousness begins to drop. Then, you begin to perceive how the images of reality are shifting into a reality which has less love, work, things that have to be done, and money has great power. Wait, you cry, I changed my mind. I do not choose to return to the third, fourth dimension. But, the fear is in your voice, and you begin to lose your focus on your fifth-dimensional reality. You know that your focus is returning to the third, fourth dimensional reality because you have experienced that reality, you know it, you can feel it. You realize that if even a whisper of fear enters your thoughts, it could lower your consciousness, which lowers your perceptions, back into the third, fourth dimensional realities. Then you begin racing down into the third, fourth dimensional realities. No, you cry. But, no is the wrong word. Yes, you fortunately remember, I must adjust my thinking. I must calibrate my thinking and my emotions to the frequency of unconditional love. Just as I must have air to maintain a third-dimensional body in a third-dimensional world, I must have unconditional love to remain within the resonance of a fifth-dimensional reality. Fortunately, the Kundalini provides a transitional state in which you can consciously feel the recalibration of your nervous system from a time-bound, third and fourth dimensional reality into a reality in which there is no fear, no separation, and no aggression. Just the mere thought of a reality, no aggression, allows your consciousness to expand back into the higher dimensions. You slowly remember that you have had many visits to the third dimension. You also remember that you chose several incarnations into a reality in which there was a gentle transition from one frequency of reality to the next. You chose to incarnate in that type of reality so that you could prepare for your incarnation into ascending Earth, who was creating the great transition from the third, fourth dimension and into the fifth dimension. You remembered from your other incarnations that if there was too much fear, you would have difficulties shifting your consciousness, and thus your perceptions and experiences, from the third, fourth dimensions into a fifth dimensional reality. Fortunately, many interdimensional immigrants from higher dimensional galaxies and planets have taken human forms to assist Gaia with her planetary ascension process. However, many draconian refugees from the Great Galactic War also took physical bodies. As the higher light penetrates into Gaia's atmosphere and physical planet, these draconian in physical form are being more and more easily identified. One of the things that you perceive as you identify them is that they, too, have grown accustomed to life on physical Earth. Remember, the dinosaurs were the first ones within this era to be on Earth. However, as the consciousness of all goes into higher frequencies, the separation and competition between persons that are good or bad, better and worse, are beginning to be replaced with decree that we are all together in this now. It is within this unity that you all want to create a new earth, not based on fear, but a new earth based on unconditional love. Fortunately, just as fear is very contagious, unconditional love is also contagious. Furthermore, unconditional love is an interdimensional experience. Unconditional love arises from the higher dimensions and intermingled into and becomes grounded into a third, fourth dimensional reality that has been established and maintained with fear and conditional love. Fear is a bonding force that ties one to that lower third dimensional frequency. However, in order to release oneself from these bonds, all they need do is to move into the frequency of unconditional love. Whereas fear bonds one to the third, fourth dimension, unconditional love opens an interdimensional portal into higher and higher frequencies of reality. As you enter these higher frequency portals/energy fields, your consciousness expands. Then, as your consciousness expands, your perceptions expand, and as your perceptions expand, you are able to perceive realities based on unconditional love, unity, and the now of the One. It is your mission, and your joy, to take that which you have experienced, as well as that which you have remembered from your higher dimensional realities, and share these experiences with those who are willing to listen. Your freedom comes in realizing that you have created your traps. Thus, you can create your escape. The way that you create your escape is to remember that it is you that created your trap. In this manner, the you that was once a prisoner becomes the you who is now the creator. It will take a great deal of unconditional love for yourself to admit that you are a creator, because your third dimensional consciousness has taught you to chastise yourself for making a mistake or creating that problem. On the other hand, unconditional love says, what did you learn when you were experiencing that problem? How can you use what you have learned to release yourself from that problem? How can you share what you have learned to assist others? Also, please remember that you only became trapped in the lower frequencies because you took a body on Earth to assist Gaia and her inhabitants to ascend into a higher frequency of reality. As you increasingly release and realize that you are the creator of your reality, your consciousness progressively expands. Then, as your consciousness expands, your Kundalini force begins to awaken within the core of your spine. As your Kundalini begins to awaken, your consciousness expands further, and your physical body gradually alters. As your body changes, your consciousness and perceptions begin to shift from that which tied you to the third and fourth dimensions and into the fifth dimension. Eventually, you realize that the third, fourth dimensions are ruled by illusion. At this point, it becomes much easier to truly and deeply accept that the fifth dimension is not just a concept but a real world. You are realizing that the higher worlds that you once thought you were imagining and dreaming are real. If those imaginations and dreams are real, then perhaps the being of light that you thought you perceived was real. Then, if even one person says, I saw a being of light and I believe that being is real, you ponder if perhaps that person is correct. Within your now, more and more people are saying, yes, yes. I saw that being too, and I also thought that being was real. But, I didn't know if it was safe to tell anyone. The fact is that as more and more people openly discuss their entering higher dimensional experiences, they become more normal. As you continue the process of transmuting your consciousness, perceptions, and even your physical form into a higher dimensional resonance, your sense of self and interaction with your reality will alter. Then, gradually, or all at once, Ascension will be the new normal. In the fifth dimension, that day is now. Blessings, we your galactic family are always with you. How could we not be, as we are you in a higher dimension? Channeled by Suzanne Lee. SuzanneLeePhD.blogspot.com